All right, Miss Grace. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to break down your videos. They're roughly all the same kind of things happening, which is good. And then I'll show you a comparison of some positions that I would rather see you in. But the good news is you're doing some good things. There's just a couple positions that I think you're losing a little bit of power that we need to correct. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to get your video up here and I'm going to share my screen so you can see what I'm looking at. Okay, so first thing here. Okay, so your starting position here isn't too bad coming out of the back of the circle. This position right here is pretty good. You're getting long. I'd rather see, and hopefully you can see my cursor here, I'd rather see your right arm just a little bit more flat, because what's happening is your turn out of the back. The first thing I want you to pay attention to is what your right arm, or excuse me, your left arm is doing with the discus. That motion right there where it's coming up really high out of the back. So when you come around to your first 90-degree angle right there, that's way too high. Okay. It needs to be a little bit more passive. And so you're kind of doing what we had talked about, that artificial lift of the discus. Okay. The other thing that I want us to pay attention to here is your left leg and your left arm right here are traveling together. The left leg needs to be ahead at this point. Right about there, the left leg needs to start initiating into the circle and the discus needs to stay back. So we need to start seeing that separation right here. So your left leg needs to be coming around and in, and the discus needs to be trailing. Right now, they're traveling together. Okay, so you're losing some of that separation. Okay. When your left hits, that's a little too over rotated for me. It's not terrible, but I'd rather see your left foot facing a little bit more this direction so it can actually turn and create some force. Okay. Your right foot is getting into a decent spot right here. And then your finish looks really strong. Like you're really driving that left hip around and through the throw, which looks really good. So your finish looks really powerful. That looks really good. Okay. If I'm being nitpicky, the one other thing that I would rather see is, so watch your left foot when it comes around. It kind of sits and doesn't do a whole lot until the right comes down. So I'd rather see your left foot come around a little bit lower, like right there, it's a little bit of a hop. And so it kind of plants, sits, doesn't really do much, has to get the heel back up and then turn. We want that a little bit more Valerie Allman-esque, where right when the left comes down, it's turning. Like you got to turn that left foot as soon as it hits. Okay. So right along those lines, the right foot path, let's just look at your right foot, the path that your right foot is taking. Okay. It's kind of taking a long time to come around. It's landing in a good spot and you're doing a good thing with it when it lands, but I'd rather see that right foot come around and shoot to the front and sprint. So I think we need to pinch our knees a little bit more in the middle. So your knees are kind of coming really wide apart as you turn. They need to pinch a little bit more together so that right foot will come around quicker to the front. Okay, so just to recap, all right, right there, this is a good position, pretty decent. I'd rather see that right arm a little bit more flat. We need to get rid of that discus carry up like that. That's just this really manual orbit. It needs to just kind of hang a little bit lower and then not get high until it comes to 180. Okay. This sequence right there, left arm, left leg traveling together. Left leg needs to come around. The discus needs to be back. So in this position right here, I'd rather see your right arm a little bit more forward, discus a little bit further back over here. Okay. Left foot needs to turn right when it hits so it doesn't plant and just stay still. Knees need to pinch so that right foot comes around longer. But this position, this is your money maker right here. That from this sequence through the front of the circle, that's your money maker. You have a really powerful finish. Imagine how much more that discus is going to go when you have even more speed and even more torque, because you're already doing a really good job of cranking with your hips and letting the discus snap around. So imagine what that's going to look like when you're going around a lot faster and have a lot more torque through your core. That thing's going to go. Okay. All right. So let's watch this girl now. So hopefully you're seeing this screen now. Yeah. Okay. So you should be seeing Rachel Denkoff here. Now, granted, she's a righty, but I'm going to go through these same sequences that I just showed you and show we can watch her position. Okay. So when she comes into the middle, see how her arm was a little bit more flat, pointing straight out. It wasn't coming up, her left arm. Okay. You can already see it starting to happen. So her right foot is stretched way out and the discus is behind her right butt cheek. Okay. So right there, you can see it even more now. Her right leg is starting to sweep into the circle. The discus is still back. Okay. Now we can really see it. The discus is in the, or the, her right foot is in the middle of the circle or coming to the middle of the circle. Discus is still way back here. Okay. So again, look at her position at 90 degrees. Okay. Her arm, remember this concept that we talked about, 90 at 90. Okay. So right now your arm is way up here. Okay. So we need to be 90 at 90. Watch her right foot when it hits the circle. Right when it hits, it's going to start to turn. Okay. Then look at all this torque that she has. Okay. That discus is so far back, and then just rips it through. Okay. And then she'll do a little slow-mo version here in a second. Okay. Okay. So left arm comes around, turn, snap. Okay, we'll watch that one more time here. Fast version. Whoosh, ta-ta, snap. And we'll watch it slow, and I'm going to pause these positions again one more time really quick here. Okay. So left arm for you, it's going to be your right arm, just comes around nice and flat. Okay. Right. See that? And then right here is where she's going to start to initiate that separation. She's going to leave the discus alone, sweep that right foot in front of her body. See that? Okay. Then her right foot, as soon as it plants, it's going to turn immediately. So it's not going to sit, stop, and then turn. It's just going to turn right when it hits. It's turn, 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 turn. Okay. And then the same thing, she kind of sprinted with that left foot, pinched her knees in the middle. Now she's got all of this torque. Her lower body is wanting to drive around on that finish, and that discus is so far back, it creates all this torque and all this snap, and then she just smokes it through the finish. Okay, so one more time really quick. Let's watch her positions. I'll make this super slow-mo for you. Okay. So hopefully that gives you an idea of some things you can work on. But again, you're pretty close in some of these positions. We just need to kind of correct that orbit, create some lower body, upper body separation with those things. Let me know if that was helpful. All right, I'll talk to you later.